kind of fam, we are starting off with a fresh face, and I am using a spoolie just to comb up my eyebrow hairs. And I am going to go ahead and remove the oils using my Huda Beauty loose powder in the color Cinnamon Bun with my powder puff. Now onto eyebrows, I am going into my Maybelline brow pen, and this is in the color Ash Brown. And I am doing some light hair strokes to mimic my brows. So luckily for me, my eyebrows are on the thinner side, so I am able to achieve that 2000s thin eyebrow look, which I honestly feel like it fits my facial structure better than thicker eyebrows. So you just want to make sure that your eyebrows look thin as possible for this 2000s video vixen look. But I'm just filling in any places that are sparse, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the gel parts of the Build a Brow pen. And I'm just going to go ahead and gel my hair into place so that my eyebrows don't move throughout the day. And I'm just combing it in the direction that my eyebrows grow in. And now on to cleaning up my eyebrows. I am going to go into my E38 brush. And I'll be using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the color Toffee just to clean up my brows. And I like to go ahead and drag the concealer into my skin and like upwards just so it could blend out nicely. And then I use my finger just to blend out the concealer. Now onto complexion, I like to use my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, and I like to use that first alongside with my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer just to fill in my pores and any fine lines on my face so we can have a nice and smooth base. And to further blur out my pores, I like to go in with the Huda Beauty loose powder in the color Cinnamon Bun alongside with my powder puff. So foundation, I like to use these two drugstore foundations. One is from Maybelline, the other one is from L'Oreal. I have the L'Oreal Trumatch foundation in the color C10, and then my Maybelline SuperStay Skin Tint in the color 375. And to blend it out, I do like to use my Instapop brush from Real Techniques. I love this brush, y'all. I had this brush for, it's been almost like 6 years. And like this brush is still going on strong. But I just go ahead and use patting motions, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pat that into my skin. Now to highlight, I do like to go in with my P. Louise eyeshadow base in the color Rumor 7. And I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight underneath my eyes, my nose, the upper lip part, and also my chin. And y'all, this is actually not a concealer, this is an eyeshadow base, but y'all, the consistency of this is absolutely superb, and I generally enjoy using this as a concealer because it is super opaque and it does not crack. So this is my little trick for when you don't have concealer. Definitely use this if you want a full coverage look. And I just went in and sprayed my face with my Urban Decay All Nighter spray just to kind of rejudge my face. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use my Ulta Beauty Precision foundation brushes to blend out my concealer, and then my powder puff to blend out my under eye. Now I am going to go back into my foundation brush just to kind of marry the concealer with my foundation. And then I like to go in with a small angled brush and my Milk Makeup contour stick in the color Space just to contour my nose. And then I'm going to go into my e.l.f. Camo concealer in the color Tan. And I am going to use that as my concealer to brighten my under eyes. And I'm just using a small fluffy brush from Morphe just to blend out my contour. And I did go back into Rumor 7 just to blend out the under eye, and then I'll be using my powder puff just to blend out that concealer. And I like to go into my Morphe M173 brush just to blend out that concealer towards my nose. So everything is nice and blended. Now on to setting my under eye. I do like to go in with my L'Oreal Infallible pressed powder in the color 375, and I am just going to go ahead and use that. And yes, I use a pressed powder before I use a loose powder, and this just makes my makeup look super flawless and kind of corrects anything if my under eye is a little too bright. It just makes everything mesh together. So I'm applying that on all the spots that I highlighted. Now I am going to go ahead and use my Huda Beauty loose powder, and you guessed it, cinnamon bun again. And I'm now going to go ahead and highlight my nose and also other parts of my face. But for contour, I do like to go into my Morphe 8R palette, and I'm using the darkest shade in there just to contour my face. And I'm using my Morphe E4 brush just to go ahead and contour around my face. And then for my nose, I'm going in with my Morphe E62 brush, which is like this dense angled brush, and I like to use that for my nose contour. So now I'm going into my P. Louise bases in Rumor 1 and Rumor 7, and I mix those two up just to kind of get this light brown consistency / color. And I'm just using my Morphe M173 brushes to buff that into my eyelids. You want to make sure that it's nice and even. And then I like to go into my Warrior 2 palette from Juvia's Place, and I'm using this fluffy brush to place the color Wazobia into my crease. And then I'm going to go into the lighter brown in that same palette, and I'm going to use that as my transition color. And then I'm going to use the remainder of what I had on my arm for what I use for my eyeshadow base. And I'm going to go into the Taupes palette from Juvia's Place, and I am going to use my powder puff just to apply that eyeshadow. Now I learned this trick on Instagram. I forgot from who exactly, but they said to use this for like your eyeshadow, and like it comes out super even, y'all. Way better than a brush. And I went ahead and did my wing liner using my Urban Decay 24/7 inks in the color 0 just to do a nice wing. And now for my inner corner, I am using my Morphe bullet brush, and I'm using the Rumor 1 base for the white eyeshadow that I want to use. Now I'm going into my Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe, and I'm using that white color, and I'm going to apply that in my inner eyes. And I feel like this ties in with the Y2K video Vixen look, because I feel like they use a lot of cool toned makeup or grays. So the inner eye just really does it, and you know, it's very seductress to do a nice cat eye in the inner corner. So that's what I did. But now on to my lash line. I am using my Italia black pencil, my waterline, and then to add some more depth, I went back into Wazobia and applied that underneath that. And for blush, I do like to go into my Juvia's Place blush palette in the color Volume 5, and I'm using this pretty ashy pink onto my cheeks. And then now I'm going to go back into my L'Oreal Infallible pressed powder, but this is in the color 390, and I'm just using my big fluffy brush from Morphe, and I'm just going to go ahead and press out and remove all the excess powder that's on my face. And now for lashes, I did get these lashes from the beauty supply store. I forgot the name of it. I'm so sorry, y'all. But I did use my Duo lash glue, and I let it dry on my eyelids before applying the lashes. And to now do my lower lashes, I like to go into my Morphe, the Big Lash primer. And this is a blue primer, and this just helps my lashes look a lot thicker. And then I like to go into my Smashbox Superfan mascara, and then I am just going to go ahead and top that once it dries down. Now I am going to go into the Italia black liner, and I'm going to line my lips. I like to slightly overline my lips just to kind of give my lips a more juicier look. And then I'm going into my Black Radiance Velvet Lipstick. You guys, there's no name on it and I'm so sad about it. But then to top that up, I do like to use my Rumor 1 eyeshadow base, and I like to place it in the middle just to get this ombre. And now to set my face, I like to use my Urban Decay All Nighter spray first, and then I go into my One Size spray after. And I just like to go in with my foundation brush to suppress that setting spray in so it could really set into my skin and there's like no droplets on my face either. And then I used my One Size setting spray, and this is just what finalizes it for me. Now to really get a bright and airbrush look, I go into my Benai setting powder, and this is in the color Pretty Pink, and not only does it brighten my under eye after I set my face, but it also makes my face look poreless, y'all. Y'all gonna see the difference once I apply it versus when I don't, and like the difference is uncanny. It just makes my face look super airbrush and remove the texture. And now I'm reapplying my blush just to get the color back into my face, because I feel like once I used my pressed powder, I kind of lost the color. And overall, I just love this look, y'all. It just came out so nice. But now to nose highlight, I do like to go into my Benefit highlighter in the color Cookie. And this just kind of like adds some like va va voom. And you know, I can't forget about the highlighted brow. That's such a 2000s thing. So I went ahead and highlighted my brows, and these are the finished results. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.